Hey everybody, this is Matthew Soltesiak and you're listening to Not the Same Old Lions podcast. Using my sportscasting background, I speak with a variety of guests and interview key players to gain more insight on what makes this team go. As the Detroit Lions enter a new gritty era, we'll look beyond just the kneecaps when it comes to the analysis. Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to discuss the free agent splash the Detroit Lions made with the signing of Cam Sutton. We're also going to talk about the re-signing of Isiah Buggs. And those are some of just the big things hitting the market today. The Lions also re-signed a number of other players. Now joining me today is Coach Jerry Angers. He was named Michigan High School Coach of the Year, as well as Coach of the Week by the Detroit Lions. He's also mentored numerous players to the college level and some all the way to the NFL. Good to have you here, Coach.
Great to be here. It's almost like Christmas, isn't it?
This is a very fun time of year. I totally agree.
Yeah, there's no doubt we're in the hanging out today and keep getting these tweets and these from different people. Oh my God, they're going to sign. Oh my God, they're looking at it, and it's just fun to watch how things are going to change right now.
They are there. So we're going to start with Cam Sutton. But before we talk right about Cam Sutton, let's talk about the events leading up to Cam Sutton. Forever, we've been hearing Jalen Ramsey. You and I have talked about this for a while. We said Jalen Ramsey is a great talent, but he does not fit the Lions for a variety of reasons. And so over the weekend, we saw him go where? Miami.
Yes.
And that seems like a great fit for him.
Yeah, I believe so. And I think that's, it's a good sign because that's one of those big markets and, where they can get a brand of themselves. And it's not the blue collar Detroit Lions, that's for sure.
Right. Now, the other interesting piece of information that came out is the Lions were apparently in part of that conversation for Ramsey. So that told me right there, hey, wait a minute. I think the Lions are going to do something at defensive back. So then everybody pivoted to the next most logical thing. Big play, Slay. Darius Slay was like, hey, let's get Slay back to Detroit. And we loved Slay in Detroit. He was awesome. We were sad to see him go.
Yep.
But considering his contract and his age, and you have to give up draft picks, I also was thinking that did not seem like the right fit. I was hoping we wouldn't go that route for those reasons. And we don't have to.
No, that's great. Not with the signing of today. That's for sure. Talk about a splash. You got a guy from the Steelers, which another blue collar town, blue collar team. His stats have improved year after year after year. I mean, he had his best season this year. Last year, he had 15 pass defense, and I think he's a tough human being, and I think he's going to fit well into our scheme.
So just to back up and be clear about everything, we're talking about Cam Sutton, the free agent defensive back that the Lions signed today, 3-year, $33.8 million contract,
like that,
with about $22.5 million guaranteed.
Right.
Played defensive back. He was drafted by the Steelers in the third round. He's got 6 years in the league. He started about 15 out of the last 16 games last season, and he just talked about his hardworking mentality.
Yes, and I think that's a big thing. And he's making plays. He's blue collar, and I believe he can play inside and outside for us. So again, another situation where we can keep him on the field, and whether it's passing downs. Run situations, things like that. So again, I think he's going to fit in because I think Coach Glenn loves those guys that can play 2 or 3 different positions.
Well, that brings up more versatility, right? Because the Lions played so much nickel defense last year. I don't know if we're going to continue with that this year or if that was just due to our linebacker situation last year. But we know we could play a good nickel defense if we needed to with this extra depth.
For sure.
And 3 years, $33 million. That's about $11 million a year, which, again, if you're looking at the Ramsey or the Slay comparisons, that's about $6 to $7 million less. Mm-hmm. You could sign a very good linebacker at that price.
Oh, there's no doubt. And it gives us that extra cap space, too, and it gives us, to go out there and find somebody on the open market that doesn't get picked up or is not looking at a huge contract, but just to prolong his career.
Now, a lot of people might not be that familiar with Cam Sutton, but I did a little bit of quick looking, and I guess they're saying he was like the third highest ranked free agent defensive back out there, behind, I believe, Bradbury and Dean.
Right.
And that makes me excited. I'm happy that they solidified it. We have a legit number 1 defensive back in Detroit now.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully he's going to bring that 6 years of expertise and help the rest of our D-backs.
Right, because that you're talking about an opportunity for him to do the mentor thing with Okudah, with Jacobs, right? To just bring them up and get them better. Because I'm going to say it right now, I still think Jeff Okudah could be something special. I have not given up on him. I think there's enough behind him as a person, as an individual, that if he works hard, I still think we could still get something great out of him.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I think he's another one of those guys. He's athletic and he's pretty tough, and I think as we get better and better as a team and as a unit, he's going to fill those roles that needs to be filled. And I definitely know the Lions are going to give him that shot.
So I think this was probably our biggest need, and it's been met. It's been filled. That defensive backs, it gives us more flexibility going into the draft and through the rest of free agency.
Yep.
Now, we also know the defense needs lots of work. The Lions did re-sign a handful of players. The biggest name, and perhaps the biggest one, is Isiah Buggs.
Yeah, it's a big man. And again, those are the ones that we had talked about and people talk about all the time. We want to bring those guys back. He knows the culture. He wants to be a part of this culture, and he had some huge games for us. And, you need that run stopper in the middle that's going to clog it up. And Buggs fits that to a T. And I was happy to see that one. And, of course, we talked about it. Hopefully we signed a couple of our other free agents, especially Kaminsky.
Correct. And Buggs' name isn't as big or isn't on the edge of people's lips like Shark and Jamal Williams, as well as Kaminsky. But Isiah Buggs serves a need that we really need because of that interior D-line.
Yeah, I agree. And we talked about that with him being able to plug those holes. He's got great energy. How many big plays did he make at the NTFLs in the last couple games where everybody started going, oh my God, this Buggs guy can play. So again, it's somebody that's staying with the program. It's not somebody that has to learn the culture. It's somebody that knows what the culture is. And what's saying to you is he wants to be a part of the special things that are happening in Detroit.
And we saw how much the 49ers paid for a defensive tackle from Philly. A ton of money.
Yes.
It shows you how desirable that position is. We don't know if Jalen Carter is going to be someone we take at the number 6 spot or if it will be even available. Yeah. But that would be amazing if it happened. But the nice thing is, even if that doesn't happen, even if we don't take a guy like Jalen Carter, we have a little bit more depth with Buggs. We can do something later in the draft. The big thing is those are a couple of our bigger things that we need to take care of. They've been taken care of within hours of the start of free agency.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's Christmas right now. And just to see these different things happening and see the way that they're going. And again, comparing to what the Twitter accounts and everybody's saying out there, again, did Brad Holmes do the right thing with the corner? Yes, it's Brad Holmes. I'm sorry, I can't second guess anything he's done. And if he has a couple of missed opportunities in this situation, he's gonna make up for it with a guy he knows that's gonna fit our program.
And I agree with that. We've seen a lot of different players' names going different places, and we'll look at that as the dust settles and how that affects the Lions. But we've seen a lot of backup quarterbacks going places. Like you, I've got a lot of faith in Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and just what they're going to do. I don't have a strong opinion on who the Lions should take at quarterback to get a free agent quarterback. Again, I'm trusting their vision, what they think is the right fit. Because we talked about that as well. They must have seen enough or know enough about Cam Sutton, not just his play, but what he can bring. And they already know what Isiah Buggs can bring. Isiah Buggs was already back in Detroit talking about it today. Yeah. I love it.
Yes, no doubt about that. Knowing what and how happy he probably is right now to wear the Honolulu blue. And I'm going to keep saying it. We are different, and we are going to the top, and it's just fun watching these different moves that they make, and they know what's going to fill this program and make sure that we go to where we need to be, and that's to the Super Bowl.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're going to have a lot more coming this week as more things go on, but we wanted to get this out right away. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, not a problem. Anytime we can talk about the Honolulu blue, let's get it done.
And folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to Not the Same Old Lions podcast to get alerts about new episodes. Also follow the show on Twitter @Matt Soltesiak. And until next time, stay gritty, my friends.